Welcome to SikaPOS. Now, this short tutorial is knowing how to set up your attendance for businesses that want to set up the clock in, clock out, and manage attendance of employees and staff members. You can use SikaPOS to set that up.
Now, the first thing you need to do is obviously log in to your account as a business owner. And the clock in, clock out system is located on the dashboard. So, right on your dashboard, on your top right hand side corner, there is a blue button with an arrow. Right here with an arrow. Now, that's the clock in, clock out session. But it's only functional after you as a business owner has set it up. So if you click in here, let's just say that clock in. If you leave a note, it's not compulsory to leave a note, but if you just submit without setting it up, you would get an error, no active sheet for this time. So as a business owner, you need to set up the session. And what does that mean? That means that you need to come into this the HRM system and go to attendance and set up a shift. What this means is this: every user or every employee is supposed to come in at a certain time, and that time is what needs to be set by the business owner. So for example, if David, for example, is an employee and David is supposed to report at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you need to create, almost like all the other systems like user management, like customer contact groups, like customer group, you need to set up a shift first. Once you set up the shift, you'll be able to assign users to that shift. So for example, let's create a shift. So we'll say this shift is called daily restaurant staff. So for example, your waitress, your waiters, sorry, I think I made a mistake with the spelling of restaurant, and the shift can be flexible or not. So for example, if it's fixed, it just means that fixed clock in, clock out with grace time. And if it's flexible, it just means that it's flexible. Whatever time they come in, they should clock in and they should clock out. Literally, that's what it means. If there are any holidays, you can say, okay, they are on leave on Sunday. The reason why you do this is because at the end of every month, you create a whole report on attendance for each and every user and what days they miss. So it's very important that you create this shift and assign users to that. If there's an auto clock out, which I recommend businesses should do, that means that if the person logs clock in but forgets to clock out, after some time it will just automatically clock the person out. So I always encourage everybody to do that. And clock out time, let's say by 6 p.m. If the person hasn't clocked out by 6 p.m., you can just say, okay, that. So the fixed one is also very simple. Just say 8 a.m. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And let's go back to our 8. So in this case, we are saying the daily restaurant staff shift is a fixed shift. The person starts at 8 a.m. and leaves at 5 p.m. and they are not coming on Saturdays and Sundays. So this is a shift for a certain group of people. So if you have multiple people coming on different schedules and different shift programs, and I know pharmacy companies also have shift programs. I know fuel stations also have shift programs. A lot of businesses that use shift programs can actually use this and implement. So depending on which one that you want to use. So for example, once we created that, we just say submit. And once that is created, you have daily shift, fixed shift starting at 8 a.m. and that, so you can assign users to that shift by clicking assign users, and that brings it. So you can say, okay, I want Mr. Bediaku, I want Anita, I want that, depending on which restaurant staff, and you can set the date that starts. If there's no end date, you don't have to put an end date. It's fine. Now these parts are all not compulsory, depending on what you want to do, right? And that sorry, this part is compulsory, depending on where you want, how long you want their shift to run for any given period. So I'll just put sample ones here, just for the sake of this purpose. So this is a long overview. We have created the shift. Once we've created the shift, we are assigning the users to that shift. So like I said, you don't even need to add users, every user. So for this shift, we say, okay, we're only adding Anita and Mr. Bediako to this shift, and they're coming. So we don't even need this part. Just for the tutorial sake, I want to make sure that you don't think every user is needed for each and every shift. So that once that is done, you can also assign users to, let's say, another shift. So let's add Dorothy to the other flexible shift that was pre-created beforehand. Okay, so now that's it. So now what happens now? What happens now is this. So once that is done, that's it. So under that, now if the user comes, logs in for the first time, all they just need to do is go on their dashboard, see the arrow, blue arrow, click on clock in. And once they click on clock in, it would automatically clock them in, and you will notice that the sign changes after a while. Now this part is not compulsory. You can choose to put a note in your thing or just ignore it and just click on shift. So no active shift for this time. Now you get such an error, that just means that, look, today the shift started that and ends in that. The timing is that, meaning that Mr. Bediako is not in this time. The time at the moment is 2 p.m. You cannot clock in because the shift that was assigned is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So for Mr. Bediako to be actually logged in and get it working, he can't clock in at the time which is not active. For better of this presentation, I will just quickly go back into the HRM and assign Mr. Bediako to a flexible shift for presentation purposes. So remove Mr. Bediako from active shift there, because that, and say submit, and we'll assign Mr. Bediako to the flexible shift, which has no time limit. I'll try adding, it'll tell me no, because I need to set the date and duration of that shift. And once we set that, so now Mr. Bediako is now in a flexible shift, which is not time conscious. And now so now it should allow me to just clock in my attendance. For the purpose of that, we can just say just got here. All right, now that field is not compulsory, and the shift has been clocked in. So meaning that this flexible shift has been clocked in, and you just say that. So depending, users can do this on their phone, users can do this on their device, and that. So notice that the icon has changed, right? And if you set an auto clock out after 6 p.m., it will automatically clock the person out. This is great for reporting. This is great for keeping in touch with the users and getting things done on time and that. So I encourage everyone to use it. And if you haven't, just subscribe to a package that gives you access to attendance, HRM. I think most of the Pro and Plus plans have that. So thank you so much, and thanks for using SikaPOS. Bye for now.